Hello everybody. We will discuss the different access attributes of the variables of the class. There are three access attributes of the variables of a class: public, private, and protected. This access attribute control how the user, what access does the user of the class have, the variables of the class. So there are three types: public, private, and protected. So if a variable has a public type of access, then the user of the class can directly access this variable. He can read and write to it. If the variable is of the type protected, then the only way the user can access it is through functions. If the writer of the class has provided such functions, we'll come to the protected class in the end. So as we can see in this case, there is a class box. It's a two-dimensional box. It is completely defined by two variables, length and width. We have declared length as double and width as private. So from this definition, we can see that the length, as it is declared as a public, as it has a public access attribute, it can be directly written. It can be directly written to using this box.length. But if we try to access box.width in a similar fashion, the compiler will not allow it, because box.width is the private type of access. And the only way to write to width will be using the internal function setWidth to write to it and getWidth to read from it. This is public and private. Now let us understand a bit what happens when we inherit this class. So when a class is inherited, in the inherited class or the child class has access to all the public variables, but it does not have access to the private variable. In case of protected variables, there is a settled, that is where the protected class access attribute comes into picture. In case of protected access attributes, the derived class has access to the public and the protected, but it doesn't have access to the private. So if the user of the class, if the creator of the class has a set of variables where the wish is that only the derived class and the parent class should have access to it, then it should be marked as protected. If the intent or the wish is that only the main class or the base class or the parent class should have access to the variables, then it should be marked as private. And if the wish is that everybody, including the derived classes, should have access, it's marked as public. We'll look at this example. We'll run this example and see its output. Here we can see that we have set the length of box as 10 and the width as box as 10. Length of the box is 10 and width of the box is 10. To access this width, we have to use the set and get.